representing a whole family of burners, and so I'm going to start with a letter to Cosmo from them that I put together. There you go, that I put together. So much love, and I've heard that from so many of you today. It's amazing. His memory will live through us all with deep respect. How my heart hurts. We got fewer moments than we deserved. He is going to be incredibly missed. My heart is heavy. These little passages are from a bunch of different people, so it's not me, because I'm just kind of passing it through. This is crazy. Cosmo was such a good dude. Always there to laugh and play or help in any way. Always trying to make sure everyone was having a good time. You are missed and loved, my friend. Cosmo had a way of connecting with everyone around him, one of the most inclusive people. I grew to have a very strong connection with him, and I will miss our very nerdy talks about cooking and science, because Lord knows the man could science cooking like no other. Chicken pot pie. Rest in peace, Cosmo, who certainly lived life to its fullest. Just a few weeks ago, you shared your photos of your beautiful family with us, and I could tell that they brought you great joy. You will certainly live on in all of our thoughts when we have to troubleshoot for ourselves. He was fantastically artistic, talented, intelligent, learned, and wise. His friendship and compassion for us all made us want to be much better. Cosmo was a beloved campmate at Camp Carnival Safe. We're back there today. Rob's not feeling well. Even though we didn't get to see him much, because he was off doing all sorts of things, he always came by for coffee and meals. And he'd come over at night, and we'd always be able to have a late night drink. And his camp will miss him dearly, and will always hold a special place. This was one of my favorite ones. I kind of grabbed this off of Facebook. I think I'm sad that I somehow failed to meet Cosmo, or have a long enough conversation to remember that I had. Rest in peace, beautiful man. May you rest in peace, Cosmo. You have touched us all in one way or another. May your spirit shine bright and your heart be beautiful forever. I like this one because I probably fall in this category a little bit. Could be trusted with all the secrets. He was a vault. His loyalty, sincerity was never doubted. His visits, though sometimes cut too short, were always welcome and oh so meaningful. I feel like we were in the middle of an incredible conversation, but he walked away, and now I can't finish it. This one's from a man and his partner, Andy and Tim. Tim passed away of cancer. He handed Cosmo a bunch of love letters and notes that Tim had written to Andy. And in Cosmo's way, he took those love letters and those beautiful words, and he put them in one of our burn effigies. And then he held Andy while Andy cried as those ashes were burned. And I mean, there aren't a lot of men out there that would do that. But Cosmo sat there, held those letters, held that man, while Andy said goodbye to his lover. This is kind of our Halloween tribute for Cosmo, because Lord knows the man liked Halloween. We hope his playful spirit haunts us for a long time. It will, right? You know, we're going to turn around and there he's going to be. Cosmo was an incredible personality, a wizard of help, and a theater kid to the core. He was always there to help us get set up and pointed in the right direction. Need some tape? Here you go. Broke something? Here you go. Lock yourself out? That was his thing this year at the burn. He had a lockout kit. He never needed it, but Lord knows anybody who did knew where to find Cosmo, because Cosmo had a toy. Need an obscure fan for your trailer? He would spend the time to tell you why you should listen to his recommendations. We're so grateful that we got a few years to learn from him and get to know him. Miss you, Cosmo, and hope that you're haunting whatever afterlife and fixing the broken things for all the creatures. I'll be sure to go cause some trouble like you would want us to. Much love. This is from one of our amazing art parks that we have in our community. I can't be there, and that frustrates me. I met Cosmo by chance. I stood at dawn on the top of the effigy and talked about building things, burning things, and creativity. That 30-minute conversation was the highlight of Equinox. We met again later in the event, and again at Burning Man. Rarely have I looked forward to reconnecting with someone as much as him. He made my world light up in a moment. He was someone I could have spent a long time with. I sadly won't get that chance, but the time you gave me is enough. I will treasure that time more. And I know there's one here, and there's two more back there with the mana. Come on, how many earworms has he done that to you guys? Forever, for him. Mana, do, just for him. Okay, I promised I would do it, so I did it. This one's from a gentleman named Matt. Cosmo was one of the brightest lights of my burn this year. We were greeting partners Thursday morning. Traffic was light, so most of our shift was spent in deep conversation, punctuated with lessons in the intricacies of boot-scooting line dancing to the lyrics of improbable country and western tunes. Okay, Burning Man community is really not country western. Just saying. But Lord knows we heard enough of it. He had a limp. Go figure, right? I asked if he was injured. With an impish smile, he told me of his previous night activities. We talked about life, love, the universe, and about Burning Man, and what it meant to us both. He spoke at length about being a greeter and belonging to Greeters Camp. He loved each and every one of you guys, individually and collectively. He spoke passionately of his sense of acceptance and belonging. Cosmo thought that his burner family members were all some of the best friends the universe had to offer. He was a knowledge sharer and emotional carer. He was my blessing that Thursday morning. Emerson says, it is not the length of a person's life, but the depth. Cosmo lived as deeply as any one person ever could. Go safe, beautiful man. Burn on, Cosmo. Burn on, our friend.
It's just a short letter to Cosmo. To my dear friend Cosmo, as I review my life, I do so as if I'm looking through a kaleidoscope. Every piece of glass in my kaleidoscope represents an event or a person that has impacted my life. Some of the pieces of normal color and shape, while others are uniquely stand out. Cosmo's piece of glass is sharp, brilliant, deep in color, and it does stand out like no other. Cosmo, thank you for adding to the kaleidoscope of my life. Throughout my life, I'll always have a piece of you with me.
So now my name is Shannon, and Shannon and Cosmo have been known each other for a long time. Sorry, this is kind of surreal. So I'm Shannon now. Still hard to believe. My apologies for not being there in person, but responsibilities that Cosmo would be proud of are hard this weekend, or at hand this weekend. She's at the Joshua Tree Music Festival. I would like to share the short version of a story Cosmo loved to share, the story of how we met and how he came to my world. It's very simple, really. We were all at Utopia, and they had overbooked the RV camping. I saw him in his tiny teardrop, and without hesitation had him pull up in our yard. One of the best examples of listening to the universe I ever did Within an hour, we were family. The next spring, I encouraged him to come down to the equinox, and once again, the pleasure of including him in family. Cosmo was there for me, outside of Burning Man. He looked after me and made sure my heart and mind were safe, encouraging me to find my path. We shared cooking, our love of country music and dancing. We would talk for hours, hashing out inventions and sharing ideas. I would use a beat up old solar oven, proudly knowing it was yours. Remembering all the hours we spent talking about our adventures of cooking in the desert. Cosmo was going to walk me down the aisle at my wedding to Ranger Rick this coming spring. It's going to be difficult to walk without him. Luckily, we practiced and planned it just this last time we saw each other, so we will have that. Of course, there was going to be a prank. I know the prank. You'll have to ask me later what the prank was going to be, because she didn't put it here, and so I'm guessing I'm not supposed to say. But I know what the prank's going to be. But now, that will just be ours. Fly well, my dear friend. Although my heart hurts with the ache of missing you, I am joyful for your grand adventure in the universe. Now you will really know how everything works. Always in my heart, Shannon.
I'm Dr. Bev, and I came down from Portland just for this ceremony because I wanted more closure, and I wanted more stories, and I wanted more of Cosmo. And I am so grateful to his family and friends for inviting all of his families to share today. Cosmo was a lot of different things to a lot of different people. You know, he had so many multifacets to him. To me, he was an extremely close friend. He and I shared a lot of things. I love country and Western music. And we, from the time I started camping with greeters, he was one of the most important people that made me bond to that family with the greeters at Burning Man, that I can't imagine my life without these people in it. I would come back each year and my friends Barb and Ron and I would camp in a little enclave within the greeters camp, and he would be on the outskirts of the greeters camp. And we spent a lot of time just quietly sitting and talking at great length, you know, that he would get so deep and personal about people in his life and about the meaning of his relationships, and so open and so honest about how he lived and what was important to him. And it fascinated me because I have a lot of very confusing relationships in my life. So he and I would dissect these things and talk about them. And one of the things many of you might not know is that he describes himself as an introvert. This man that was so much to everybody else felt very introverted, that he got his energy from being quiet time. And he told me, he said he saw himself as a sheepdog, and that he would kind of patrol the border of his family flocks, just seeing if anybody needed some help or it was in trouble or had an issue, and that was his job, and that's how he saw himself, not in the center, but patrolling the borders. And I laughed at this. I'm kind of a scoffing person. I don't take a lot of metaphors like that. And I said, yeah, right, what does that make me, some kind of sheep? And he said, oh, no. You must be one of the watchdogs too. And I'm satisfied with that. If I can be a watchdog too, then you can be a watchdog. But what I was able to do is the last day that he was at Burning Man this year, I spent that time with him. I was there at the man burn with him. I think I was the last person that hugged him as he left camp in his car. And I didn't get enough of him. We were going to see each other in March at Equinox, and it's so hard to let go. But I want all of you to remember that he is that sheepdog still, patrolling the borders of our herds, of our flocks, and watching over us. Thank you.
me, and then I have one more to close with. This year at the burn, I had a pretty good accident. I was lighted off, and I came back to camp. And Cosmo comes up to me and looks me in the eye, and I had a pretty good concussion, and I was pretty sore, and he's like, "I'm not going to smother you." And it kind of dovetails into what you said. He said, "But I'm going to watch you from over there. I'm going to make sure you're not doing what you're not supposed to be doing, because Lord knows I might overdo it from time to time." And he'd come in and check on me and look at me in the eye and make sure that the eyes were not really twirling the wrong direction, because I bumped so hard. I still haven't gathered all my words as well as maybe I should. I think that, like many of us, we're going to turn around and go, "Oh shit, Cosmo should have." And then, "Coffee, wait, shit. Okay, my car's locked, shit." There's going to be these moments that I think for years we are going to all reach around and know that Cosmo would have. And yeah, I will miss the man deeply. I only knew him a short time, 5 years maybe, 7 years, and I will miss him deeply. And that being said, this Barbara Parker wrote this beautiful piece, and it really channels a lot of what I hadn't been able to write. So I'm going to say it's a lot of me, but she was able to put it into some beautiful words. Dear Cosmo, I was not expecting this. The confusion, the shock, the denial. And finally, after a night of remembering the reality. In my experience, I know that in time, through process, with grief, the heart-sick gut punch eases, but not yet, my friend. Not nearly yet. As I read the words of your friends so eloquently conveying their love, gratitude, and reminiscences, wanting, needing to share with one another and the world all the wonders of our Cosmo, my heart keens, reels, nearly explodes with finality I can barely breathe. Death happens to us all, but not you. You are our cowboy, our superhero, our MacGyver. And much more than all of that, you are my friend. What all of the promises of next year and everyone after that? What will we do with the huge, magnificent hole that was supposed to hold you forever? I do remember. I can hear your voice, feel your hug. Oh boy, yes, he could hug. I can taste the dirt on your cheek when I kiss you hello. I buy the whiskey that you drink. Build a fire in the solo stove that you demonstrated. Relax in the damn expensive chairs that you recommended. And I'll probably show up next year on Cloud with a damn expensive electric bike just like yours, except without the middle bar because Deb fell off. I will marvel at the greeter sign so delighted with the changing colors. I will see you demonstrating how wonderfully it folds. I will miss your smell of tobacco, the twinkle in your eye, your explanations and stories. You will always be at my shoulder, whispering in my ear at every burn. Through our own bereavement, when we can momentarily look past our own loss, I can see you moving. I can see you moving on of your own volition. You would not have tolerated life without constant movement, energy, and joy, you think? You could not have grown old. I will thank whatever power there be that I was privileged to know you. I will look up and remember you in every night sky. Was your name really Donald? I just heard you laugh. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your stories. It's been a pleasure, this little slice of all these other families that he had out there. Thank you.